Now we have the show that I wanted to get to on Wednesday. We got 4 cackling broads here. I don't really know who these people are. Now, they say that Missy B is Anthony Cumia's girlfriend or wife. I don't know. The other 3, I have no clue who they are.
Oh, okay. Here's a little hate towards our friend Gavin. I love Anthony, but F Gavin McGinnis from Dark Side with Love. Oh,
everybody hates Gavin.
I'm just like I'm not like a hater of Gavin. I've had several pleasant interactions.
So apparently this guy Gavin and Cumia had 2 shows competing. I don't know. And then now that they've merged together to one, I believe those 2 guys are working together. That's what I got. But I want to get more information from these 4 broads about what actually happened, because we know that I guess people were terminated from their employment, or they're no longer doing shows on Anthony Cumia's channel. And it's always tough when you're an entertainer to go into the business of entertainment. And a lot of times you end up spending more of your own money than actually making money, because you're so used to just performing, and now you got to be the boss, and it's tough.
I'm slightly currently negative on Gavin, but that will disappear. Yeah. He's not losing sleep over it. My God, no. He's not. He's living.
He has never been my cup of tea, but that's just me, But I think he's a nice man, But
yeah,
not for everyone. Yeah,
I totally get what, I understand, that he did what was best for him. And you know what, you can't say oh, why don't you care about these people you don't know? Why?
Oh my God, enough with the fillers. I don't know who this girl is, but if you're going to speak in public, learn how to do it properly.
Why don't you care to handle this in a way
and when companies merge?
And sympathy when you may not have those qualities,
Right, right.
And it's he was there to do a business thing, not to do a human relations thing, and
Right.
So
when businesses merge, people get fired all the time. Honestly,
every time. When I was with Now This, and they merged with Group 9 Media in 2017, there was so many layoffs, and I wasn't laid off right away, but I felt it.
Very well put here by whoever this girl, Anthony's girlfriend. Sorry, I forgot your name, but you're still using but very intelligent in what she's saying. And when you do have a merger, there are going to be things that overlap. You don't need 2 in-house attorneys. You need no attorneys. You don't need 2 accountants. You don't need 2 dopes doing a show for 4 people that is ancillary to the main show. You don't need them, and you have to get rid of them. A business is in business for one reason and one reason only. That's to make a profit.
It's hard being a boss, right? Yeah. So
yeah. There's a lot going out in that with that, and there was some things that just weren't working to increase the numbers that were needed, and so when those things don't match up, you have to start making bigger decisions instead of having it get sucked dry.
Well, there's no Anthony hate.
I know there's no Anthony hate.
So exactly, you know what I mean? It's just
not one person.
Well, the cool thing is we know it's Missy B, right? She gets to hear Anthony complaining at night. Look, I got this stupid station now. I'm paying all this stupid rent in Manhattan. Now I can't do it anymore. I'm giving him my own money, presumably, each month or every quarter, and they're not making any money anymore. They're just not doing it. The pay model for that is pretty much gone.
Person is upset with Anthony.
Yeah,
no, he only wanted to try to do it in the best case, and honestly, it was something that he knew he needed to do 2 years ago, but he really wanted to hold off on it, and he did, and it cost him a lot to do that, but he wanted to see if there was a better way to do it, and there wasn't, and so those guys got an extra 2 years, really. So, and then for people to say oh, you didn't get any severance? Fuck you.
So she's really hearing what Anthony's telling her. And it's true. You're not entitled to severance. If you're an employee at will with no contract, then you don't have to give notice when you leave your employment. You don't have to give 2 weeks. You can leave whenever you want. And an employer can fire you for any reason, so long as it's not an illegal reason. They can fire you for any reason. They can fire you because they don't like your hair. They can fire you because you use too many fillers. Any reason.
Severance, do you know what those guys got? They got thousands of dollars of studio equipment.
That was a smart move by Cumia. Instead of paying severance, which he's not obligated to do, and to make his job easier. He just gives them the equipment, and then he doesn't have to pay someone to go up in New York City and pack up all the equipment and store it somewhere. He said, hey guys, I'm the nice guy Kumiya, take my equipment. Killed 2 birds with 1 stone, and he comes out looking great.
Right? All the equipment.
Yeah.
Right.
They were gifted so much video studio equipment.
Great. I got no job, but I got a camera.
So it's like, for these guys who already have the talent and know-how, it's like, here, you're given this. Yeah, that's a pretty penny. I would say that's severance. And then you're also going off of people promoting you. When you leave a job, they might refer you to another company.
Mm-hmm.
And that's your little leg up. Ant's leg up for everybody, or their leg up for everybody else is Ant promoting it, and then everybody else promoting it. And there's such a great community. And I think everybody should kind of stick by and not be so butthurt just because somebody had to make a logical business decision. It's not just about you.
Hey,
not you as the people who are working. I'm talking about you as the viewers. These viewers who are, all. But everyone's always going to find a way to be unhappy. Everyone's going to be bitching.
Never liked me personally. I mean, like the viewers that I brought in liked me, of course, but the old, I think the old.
I've never watched any one of their shows. I don't even know if they have shows. This girl, Chrissy, Keanu, and Kim, and Missy B, I've seen on WATP. But man, she is really intelligent. Really, what she's speaking about has a lot to do with corporate. I'm presuming from what she's saying, she's been in the corporate aspect, and you can transform that into smaller business as well, especially when it's time to merge or cut ties because it's not profitable anymore.
Like Opie and Anthony fans, so many of them are just like, oh, like just never.
Not everyone is everyone's cup of tea.
Yeah.
Again, Gavin, it's like he can be brutal, which is why people online are mad. But again, Anthony, yeah, you're right. I guess. I mean, he's done everything that he can do. So
my only thing is I wish I had more notice because I would have done a much grander final episode, and perhaps I would have handled my maternity leave differently. That's all. But
now, if you translate that, I wish I had more notice because I would have done a final show, and also I would have handled my maternity leave. What? Take more of it? Is the only thing worse than overdoing your maternity leave is taking paternity leave. No man ever should take paternity leave for any reason, unless for some reason you're a gay guy and you have a kid. But if you're a man, you never take paternity leave. No employer will ever look at you the same, ever. It's the way it is in this world. So here she's saying, I wish I had more notice. Well, guess what? If you wanted to leave at any moment, you never had to give Anthony notice, not even a minute's notice. We're talking legally. You don't have to give 2 weeks notice. That's not your obligation. So it works the other way too. And you got as much notice as you need. If you don't realize that your job is in jeopardy, then you're not in connection with your employment. You don't understand what's going on. Jack Welch, the former CEO of General Electric, used to have a saying, and he was very strict about this. When you terminate someone, it's in the best interest of both parties. One, that employee is not performing up to the standard of the company, but that employee will do much better things somewhere else. So it's in your best interest. Sometimes you can't see it initially, but eventually you got to make your own way.
Of course, when he moved down there, I thought, okay, like it's a matter of time.
Right.
So,
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, listen, not everybody really does. When there's a layoff, you do not get a heads up. And I'm not trying to make you feel a certain way by saying that, but it's just like I think about when I got laid off. I was just taken into an office and I recorded it. I have my layoff on because I was wondering if because I believe that I was laid off because of my affiliation with Anthony.
Really?
Wow.
I believe that. I absolutely believe that. I worked so hard at that. My numbers, I had numbers to actually give them. Be like, this is the numbers of this channel before I was producing and editing for you. Here are your numbers now. I created a whole thing.
They're allowed to terminate her for her affiliation with Anthony. There would not be an illegal termination. It's not falling under any type of protective class, meaning whether it's based upon her gender, her race, or something else. That would be perfectly fine. A lot of times your handbook as an employee at a larger company will dictate that you're not allowed to record certain conversations or anything dealing with the business. That doesn't really matter. But if you are making money, regardless of who you're connected to, the business should keep you, or if they do terminate you, if you really can bring in money for a business, then you'll be fine somewhere else
to negotiate,
and you're better off somewhere else.
They never gave me a raise, but I would like bring these as like a, hey, like, for your yearly reviews. And so when that happened, that sucked. But yeah, you don't know. Like I would have loved to known, and they acted like they were going to help me. I would have broken up
with Anthony long ago. Had I known.
Yeah. No, I'm so glad I wasn't with that liberal company anymore. I was just like
kidding.
Wolf's clothing. Wait.
Yeah.
Wolf in sheep's clothing. That one. No, it was awful. I mean, it was really like a blessing in disguise. It was completely miserable. But sorry, not to just go off on that, but really, it's like layoffs are never pretty, and I know Anthony loves everybody, and he's always willing to help anybody with anything. If I hope you guys know that if you needed something, you can reach out to him and talk to him about it. Maybe not so much of like, I know Gino had called me to like.
I miss you got to work on your connectors, and you are smart enough to get rid of them quickly, but you need someone to tell you the likes, everything else is fine with your speech. You just got to get rid of that.
Like try to get understanding. I was like, hey, I don't really know the details of it.
He so respects what you said. You're like, put your big boy pants on, and
like I'm gonna give you. I'm like
I gotta hand it because nobody ever wants to bother Anthony, right?
Yeah,
right.
Because the man has obviously done so much for Visconti and everybody. That's why no one says a bad word about him. So, but yeah, it's different dealing with Gavin. I think I'm only surmising because with this man milling around, going back and forth in his head, and trying to deal with Gavin, but nobody has a bad word to say about.
So I guess this girl is dating that guy Gino. Again, I don't know who they really are, and she's hearing Gino bitch about this whole situation. I guess Gino was working at the Compound Media place, and now post merger, he's really got nowhere to go, probably because he has no audience.
Yeah. The thing with Gavin, like, you have to also understand, like, this guy was, like, the co-founder of Vice. He also found another company, that digital marketing company. And now, like he is, like, sort of, like, I would say, like, a prodigy in some ways when it comes to businesses. Like, he is very, very brilliant in that. So there is that eccentric personality trait of him that can be considered unlikable, because he does push the envelope with people and he wants to get that reaction from you. But also there is this, like, you do have to respect him in some form for what he has achieved. And then
very, very well put by Missy B here. And a lot of times you see that these mid-level companies have an eccentric leader, and that's the reason why they went there. They're willing to take the risk. They're different. They're not just an employee. They always say that there's two types of people in business. One, the hustlers, and the workers. The workers never hustle. The hustlers never work, and not hustle in a negative sense. But yeah, it appears that this guy Gavin was on that eccentric side.
He was squeezed out of that company for his provocative ways and ways of thinking. So, we kind of know what we're getting with him. He is an open book in some cases, I would say. Unless, there are some things that...
What is this show, though? I don't understand how these four broads got together. I don't know where this came from, but I did like what they were saying in relation to current business situation. I know in the Dabbleverse there's that merger, but either way, you can learn a lot from this show.
Of all the bosses,
he's fed, but he's definitely not.
All the bosses I've ever dealt with are people that I've worked with. Gavin is the first one to say when it comes to negotiation, you snooze, you lose.
Yeah. What struck me wrong about the situation was, like, a good employer would never bring somebody on and let them work without a contract. I just, like, that's just something that, like, you establish from the beginning.
Negro, please. A good employer will never let someone work without a contract. Almost all employees don't have a contract. I presume most of you, if you're working for a company, don't have a contract. And here's the problem that a lot of people have. A contract, in theory, gives you this safety. People want to take risk, but they don't want to take too much risk. They want to work for a company, but they want a contract. They want to have terms. They don't want to be terminated at will. That's not true at all. If you are good enough anywhere, I don't care if you're black, I don't care if you're a female, if you are good enough, meaning you can generate revenue for a company and that company terminates you, it's in your best interest. Don't worry about a contract, because you can breach a contract. That contract provides a false sense of security. Don't worry about a contract. In fact, if you're worth what you're worth, you don't need a contract, because you will be able to earn that anywhere. This is so untrue by what this girl is saying.
So like that just seems sketchy to me, like, because a lot of people who do that, like, honestly, and this is just from my past experience, I'm not accusing Gavin because I don't know beyond what I'm being told right here and now, but like in situations that I've personally been involved with where like they're kind of standoffish about offering a contract or standoffish about like negotiating that contract, it's because they're taking advantage of you and they want to like get more out of you than
that's exactly what Now This did to me.
Willing to pay for.
Wrong. You don't go in demanding a contract, especially if you don't have the clout behind it. You don't. You prove to them and you prove to yourself that you can earn, and you're an earner. You won't need a contract for that. And they could still breach that contract, and they could put terms in there where they can terminate you at will, even if you have a contract.
Yeah. I try to negotiate contracts with them, and they would just like, you know what, well, we because...
You know what, we'll just go to the 1,000th other person who believes that if they have a computer, a microphone, and a law degree, and a camera, that they can broadcast. There's 1,000 other people in that industry. The entertainment industry, including the sports industry, has thousands of people that will pay you to work there.
I'm not trying to throw shade on Gavin, because I don't know what the circumstances were beyond like getting the 411 here on this show, but
maybe
like
they're just old men that like, we're gonna work on a handshake. You know?
It's just like that's just sketchy, and like again, like very indicative of people who take advantage of other people. And I've seen too many people fall into that situation to not like recognize that as a red flag.
From what I understand, from what Gina was telling me, that it was like a 2-week trial period.
And you have to feel for Missy B too, because in reality, it's her boyfriend or whatever. I apologize if you guys are married. I don't know. He's the employer. He could technically still employ them. If he has money, he could take his own money, employ them, and take the risk that he has to give out his own money, which you generally do in business, until it starts to become profitable. Now, I think that these broads are now dating or even working for Anthony, or were working for them, and they're no longer working for him. So really, there is a little pressure on Missy B here.
And I would imagine that's
what
just
he said. It's just not what he said before. It's like,
it's not what he said before.
What he said.
So he was kind of like just changing the rules as it went.
I mean, it was haphazard everywhere. It was like
it went from you're coming on, you're gonna make the same as you made a compound, to now it's just a 2-week trial, to now it's this amount per episode, right, but you can only do one a week. It went from you have to do it from home to you can use the studio to you can't use the studio.
Guess what, girls? That's the way life is. What you could do is start your own business, your own broadcast studio, pay for your own salary and your salary of all your employees, and make the rules that you want. That's the rules that Anthony set down, and that's the rules that he knew when he merged with this other person that they were going to lay down. No longer can we keep you at the old rate, because it's not making any money. You don't make any money. If you did, you do it on your own. And I don't know if these girls are doing it on their own or not. But don't come in here believing that it's going to be the same as what Anthony's going to pay you. The reason why he's losing money is because he's overpaying, or they're not generating enough revenue.
To you can have guests, you can't have guests.
I'm afraid Tifa will come to my studio if somebody knows where it is. But then, I mean, Gino just called Gavin, and he was like, "Oh yeah, that thing I said about you're gonna get paid before, that was only gonna be for a little while until I did." Like, all right, but that would be okay.
I can see where that absolutely.
Yeah, that's very frustrating. I mean, and Gino, Jesus, imagine. Thank God I was out of town for the week where he was like.
I know, I got the phone call.
Yeah, I know. I'm just going like, and that's, I guess, just Gavin. Does it make it right? I'm not sure. But,
and I think Gavin is somebody who would respect if you got paperwork and you made a contract and you worked with a lawyer, if you know a lawyer who knows how to write that kind of stuff out, and you can just be like...
Gavin sounds like the type of guy who I'm familiar with. If you brought a contract to him, he'd fucking laugh at you, rip it up, and throw it out. What you bring to Gavin is revenue. You bring an audience, and I don't know, I'm just speaking hypothetically. I don't know if Gavin is like this or not. But it's to any employer This is a bad attitude, not by Missy here, but by the others, thinking that if they don't have a contract, then the person's shady or the company's shady. That's bullshit. If you can generate revenue, you can last in business. But what we're hearing now is a lot of people that were getting overpaid by a former entertainer, Anthony, and now they believe that everyone in the future is going to make that same mistake. Well, this guy Gavin's not going to do it.
And come out with like, this is what I was making there. This is what I would like to make. And then like show it to him. Like,
well,
you did a proposal. I did that and he called it a TLDR.
He also said, he told Gino that.
What the fuck's a TLBR?
I love that Chrissy's like doing the right thing, and that's fucked up.
I try to be so professional, Missy, because I know what I'm worth. Like I know what my following is. I know what my numbers are on YouTube, at least. And I was just trying to be like, I know I'm worth way more than I was making before. But again, I was doing that because I was loyal to Compound and to Anthony, and because I enjoyed doing it. So.
Right.
And also the money guy said, yeah, write up a proposal. Gino and Chrissy both did that. Gavin, when he was talking to Gino, said, I read yours and then I got.
So I guess post merger, they have a quote unquote money guy. And that's a smart move by Gavin or whoever's doing this. You put all the real hard negative stuff onto someone else, on your accountant. And in life, when you're negotiating, never ever give the first offer unless you're forced to. What does that mean? If someone asks, how much do you want to buy that house for? Generally, if you're selling the house, you have to give that first offer, that first number. But when you're in this blank situation where you're negotiating, you don't know how much you're going to get paid, never ever give the first number unless you're forced to. And here, he tricked these dopes into actually having his money guy, accountant guy, actually have them write up a proposal, which translates to, we don't even want you, but I'm going to trick you into giving the first offer. Let's see what you ask for. Now, if it's so low, we may take it. But either way, it was beautifully played by whoever is running this corporation, this new one, in the sense that he got the quote-unquote talent to actually break that first rule of negotiation, never give the first number unless you're forced to. And then once you do that, they're gonna chop through everything there and obviously negotiate it way down, if they're even going to accept it at all.
To hair and makeup on Chrissy, and I stopped reading it. So
and it's not that I was like, yeah. And
one of those broads asked for hair and makeup on this YouTube channel.
What was the hair and makeup about?
I didn't. It's not like I was asking for a hair.
This girl asked for hair and makeup. One, she's wearing way too much foundation. I mean, she doesn't need to have. She's a pretty girl, but she doesn't need this foundation. Her hair is the typical wavy hair. I'm sure it comes out very wavy. You can buy her a Dyson blow dryer to blow it straight. I mean, it should be straight. But what else would you need? Reduce the foundation, and that's it. You don't need a hair and makeup person. And my God, the fact that you're asking for a hair and makeup person at this level is so outrageous.
Makeup person. I just said, like, this is the amount I need, which includes, and then again, like trying to write it out really
professional. Right, exactly.
Yeah. Oh, I see. So she wasn't asking for a hair and makeup person, thank God. She's saying that here's all of my expenses that I incur before I do a dopey YouTube show. No, you don't put that in there. And you're asking for way too much. A new employer who you're just trying to work for, if that's what you want to do, doesn't want to hear about all your expenses. They don't give a fuck. They want to hear how much revenue you can bring in, not your expenses, not what it takes to do a show. So girls, this is the wrong way. If they say make a proposal, guys, I don't need a proposal. Let me do my show. Let me show you how much I can make for you. That's all I need. That's my proposal. Right there on a damn napkin. And you can crumple that shit up. You don't go through and start believing that somehow they're going to be as naive as Anthony in business. And they're going to pay you all your expenses. You tell me you have zero expense. In fact, I'm going to pay you. Imagine that. I'll pay you to show you how great I am. And then put on the best performance of your life.
So you were accounting for what you use.
Basically accounting for all the things I spend money on. And
No. I mean, if this guy Gavin is who I think he is, and I'm saying it in a general sense, that type of person, I have no idea who he is. I've never heard 1 minute of him. But he sounds like a smart business person. Do not bring them your expenses. That's the last thing they want to hear.
Like guest hosts, like like traveling for things. Like it just was it was like a thorough.
Yeah, you were very thorough on how expensive it is for you to make money. Remember, even if you bring in $100 in super chats, now you're telling this guy, but I got to spend $200 because I got to bring in a guest host, I got to travel, I got to do all this. Zero. You got to take some risk. These girls want a contract. They want the benefits of more compensation, but they don't want to take any risk. Never, ever tell them all your expenses. I would rip that up and throw it out.
So you had it like really specific.
Yeah, because I figured like, why not be as professional as possible? Like,
and that's what you were led to believe by the guy said, yeah, write up a proposal. I'm sure that'll be fine. Yeah.
Girls, I'm sorry, but the reason why you were writing a proposal was they're telling you we don't want you. And they're going to get you to break rule number 1 in negotiation. Never give the first number unless you're forced to. I bet you anything in this proposal with all her expenses, including her hair and makeup, which again should not be that much. And this girl's got a face for it. She doesn't need so much hair and makeup. I mean, I see too much foundation on both these, but that's not the point. You need to be able to tell them how much you're going to make for them. Everything else you cut out and you take and you eat it until you start making the money.
You're just being, not hair and makeup sounds vapid. I don't mean to say that or something like that, but you're just like, this is what I have to do. This is like, you were being professional. Right, and then he's like, I read that and I just threw it away. Yeah,
like all those shows on Compound that had, like, I remember when Milo had his show, like they had a hair and makeup person. Like that's not unreasonable.
Not that you needed a person, just this is the time, not a person. and like a.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, they had a person. They had a person that was designated.
I think that was just like, I don't think he was.
I mean, this girl could use that, but the other 3 are okay. Again, with less foundation, and never ever cut your bangs, girls. But if you're going to go with this wavy hair, I know it takes time to straighten that hair, to straighten it. And I'm not saying you have to get chemical straightener, and I know you have to blow it dry straight if you want, or you just put some mousse in, you could go with it at the way it is. But that's it. But the employer doesn't want to hear any of this at all. And it's not a sexist thing. If you're a guy coming in with the same thing, they don't want to hear it either. They don't want to hear how much money you got to spend on weed or whatever to do your show. Don't want to hear it.
What's the word I'm thinking of?
I don't know the ins and outs of Milo's payment himself. I'm just saying, like, his show itself had an audience, had like a hair and makeup person, like had the behind the scenes people. Right. These are all things that were like.
And you wonder why it's not on anymore. I mean, that's way too much expense for what's going on here.
Standard. So it's like to like not even ask for a whole person to like just have that as part of it. Like, yeah, that should be standard because like it's already standard in your studio. It doesn't.
Well, that's the thing. It's like it wasn't standard. That's not what's standard in the studio. What you get in the studio that's standard is you have the booth guys and you have the technology and the lights and the space itself. And what you choose to do that under that roof is up to you and on your dime.
Right.
Okay.
Very good by Missy B. Exactly. And she's not just defending Anthony. She's giving these girls real world advice because somehow they made it through their entire life believing that their actions right now, which are critical to their career, assuming that they were working for Anthony previously, I don't know. But if they were, the way to get into the next post-merger business is not by going and telling them how much money you need at all. In fact, you're probably going to have to work for free or even maybe pay them in one way or another.
And Chrissy asks literally for nothing. I mean, you wouldn't. It's just an example of him, being like, I'm not even going to bother to read through this. I don't think Gavin wants a contract or something. It's like,
no,
just go along with me on my crazy train, and I'm not even gonna,
Well, so what's the situation right now then? Like, what is it? Still this 2-week trial thing?
I don't think it's gonna work out. Yeah, because I basically need to make more. To make it make sense for me on Censored, I would need to make more than I would make on YouTube, or else it's like, why bother? So, and he just is not gonna. He doesn't sound like he's interested in doing that. So I don't think it's gonna work out.
Then I know. And then why also if you.
You know what I mean? Like, why would it make sense for me to do content for a limited audience that I can't put anywhere else, but make less money than I would? Like, let's say I do a show and I interview Kim here, and it's for Censored and whatever it is, 20,000 people see it, and I can't. It's only for versus if I do it for YouTube, I can make more money and I can monetize it and I can get super chats, and I can get AdSense, and I can put it on Rumble, Rockfin, Twitter, everywhere else.
Right.
And make way more money. Why would I limit myself in both viewers and money to do it for Censored? That was the only argument.
Doesn't that answer your question, though, Chrissy? Doesn't it answer your question? You answered your own question. And that's the beauty of termination, according to Jack Welch, and I believe in it fully. You were terminated there for your own benefit, for the company's benefit, and for your own benefit. Now you're realizing, hey, I could do this all on my own. Of course, you're taking a lot more risk by doing it. You don't have the safety of a steady paycheck, but you have to make that decision. You can't have it both ways. You can't have all this comfort and safety, but then demand so much more money. You can't do it. So do it on your own. No one's stopping you from doing that.
I was trying to make with him. So.
Right. Have you asked him if to like renegotiate maybe a new contract or contract?
He doesn't want to read one.
He doesn't seem interested. Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't want to read one either if all you do is tell me all your expenses about your hair and makeup and your guests.
And that's okay. That's how he is. Or
yeah,
whatever.
I would maybe be interested, but he really didn't seem interested in that. It, like from like every step of the way, he has not acted like someone who is like really interested in having
negotiation.
Yeah.
That's not cool.
It's all right. It's like it's really all good.
Anthony's a fucking genius, though. Not only did he get Missy B, but also he's coming out looking like the great guy, and I guess he is. I don't know him personally. I only met him a few times, but it's great for him. And Missy B is in a tough situation here.
And shit on him, really. He's like, I just knew this is just how he is, and I mean, it just might not be right for me. And you never know, just
no, but it's still that's still like shitty to like have one preconceived notion and then completely have it like flipped and
the people that work for you telling you, write up a proposal.
Again, we learn a lot from this, but remember the golden rule of negotiation. Never give the first number unless you're forced to. That guy got these broads to give a number, and it was probably so outlandish that he's not going to accept it at all. Again, the response to that, if you wanted to get your employment, I don't need any numbers. I don't need anything right now. Let me show you. Imagine as an employer when you hear that, as opposed to seeing a 17-page contract that's so detailed into how much expense you have. This is not a big market for these girls. I mean, right now, and I'm just using them specifically. They're not going to generate a lot of revenue on their own or on another platform at all.
Thorough proposal or a crayon contract, right? Is that what he called it?
Right.
And then he goes,
contract, is that right?
And Gavin's like, well,
I called it, yeah.
And then Gavin, I feel like, was mad about that they even did that or whatever. And then he's like, well, I'm not even going to read through them. Now I'm going to offer you less than I initially did. That's pretty.
I still like what I said.
I saw that coming too. So they're saying that even if they made that proposal, of course they're going to offer less than that. Of course he is. And that's why he got them, because they're naive, to break that first rule.
With Gino. Yeah. I said, okay, so you have 2 weeks. You have 2 weeks to make the greatest shows ever. To write a show every day, have a show written and ready, with space of like maybe like current events, but make like the best show ever. Like your life depended on it.
Holy shit. Missy B is right on here. So smart. This is the part that I did see, and I get the chills when I hear it. Forget the fucking contract. If you got 2 weeks, make it the best goddamn show you can do. I never saw Gino perform ever. I don't know what he does. I don't know what his audience is. But you have 2 weeks. Make it the best show ever. Everything that you can put into it, make sure that it's there. Do you see that coming from the dues payer? Or are they just going live, grifting, and having some guy filter the thing? Filter the chats? Or are they putting all their effort into the quality of the show? That's what an employer wants to hear. That's what that Gavin guy would love to hear, I'm sure. Put it in there. This girl is very, very intelligent. I'm not sure if she got that phrase from Anthony, but she's 100% right. You have an opportunity here. 2 weeks. You're lucky to get 2 weeks. Put all your effort into the show, not into drafting a contract about how much your hair and makeup costs.
Know what you would want to do if you don't want to do it. And I even said to Gino too, I'm like, say that works, but maybe in the long run you don't even want to work for Gavin. Then don't do it. Don't do it.
Yeah, this is what an intelligent person is doing and saying. That's amazing advice to this guy Gino. The only reason why I know Gino is because Rocco the Wop, he always dresses like him. I have no idea what that means when he does it. But this guy Gino's got to stop being a little baby, apparently, and put his effort into the show. Listen to Missy B here. And I'm backing this advice 100%. Don't go crying to Missy B. She tried to get to Anthony through Missy B because Gavin was being mean to me. Gavin was changing the rules. I think the guy's name's Gavin. He's doing all this stuff to me. No, idiot. Put your energy into your show. You're lucky to get 2 weeks anywhere. No one's ever heard of you. So put your energy into the show. And it doesn't matter if you're ever heard of. Put your energy into the show. Show us what you got. Are you going to whine, cry, smoke pot in your basement, or you're going to give us the best goddamn show you could ever do ever? Otherwise, why are you coming on here? Because 99% of shows will fail. Goddamn Missy B, you told that little whiny bitch what he should do. I don't know what he has done in response to it, because he's going to do 2 options, Missy, and this will be perfect for Anthony and whoever is still running it. What did he choose? Is he going to take the 2 weeks, or is he going to cry to his wife or his future wife, who's now looking at this idiot who doesn't even have a job? I think John can slip right in there now.
It might not just be the right fit. And I mean, Chrissy, and we've been telling him that for forever, and he is trying to work on it. Yeah, he's a 55-year-old stubborn man, and
stubborn Italian.
He's a very blow with the wind kind of like, I have to feel something. I need, you know what? If a light flickers, then I will go with Gavin.
I'm letting this go now. That's a loser mentality. That's the loser mentality. Go with the wind. No, you were just put to something by a girl who told you. You cried to Missy B because she has a connection to Anthony. You thought Anthony was going to keep bailing your ass out by taking money out of his own pocket and paying you. That gravy train is over. You cry to Missy B. Why? Because now this guy Gavin's making the rules and he's giving me 2 weeks. You have a choice. I have to either work really hard for 2 weeks, really hard on entertaining, or I can make up some bullshit loser excuse. And I guarantee you, this girl, I don't know if they're married or not, but John Aaron Melendez, you have a shot now. Now's your time to act, because she's looking for a guy that could take care of her. She doesn't want to hear a 55-year-old guy crying about having to work hard, because Missy's advice was this, dopey. You got to work hard. Work harder than you ever worked before in your life. Which are you going to choose?
If it doesn't flicker, then I won't. Like, I mean, it's like deciphering. Who knows what? So I'm just sitting here. I'm like, okay.
That's my door. I'm saying dump this loser straight away. I don't care if you're married or divorced. Get rid of this loser. If that's what he's saying. Now, I could be wrong. Maybe he took Missy's advice, and maybe right now, right at this very moment, he's planning that show to make it the best goddamn show ever. Ever. I don't know. Or is he going out performing for 40 drunks, wasting 3 days traveling to perform for 40 drunks for an hour for $200? Which he's going to choose, because that's the safe way. That's the easy way out. There's no easy way out. There is no shortcut home when it comes to this business. And that's what Missy B is telling you, dope. You got to work hard. And here's your opportunity. And here is what Gavin's going to see. How you react to that advice. Do I have a hard worker, or do I have a little baby that's going to cry about the wind blowing one way or another?
Okay. Let's
and it's almost like Missy, that show that you're describing, like where you work really hard, you write it out, and then just put it on, YouTube. If you're completely canceled in that way, put it on Rumble. You'll probably make more.
It's like almost like just that opportunity to do it. And then in the end, it really, a lot of times these things are, I want to say blessings in disguise, but everything is in some way or another. But, like
100% what she's saying is what Jack Welch said. When someone is terminated, it's better for the employee and it's better for the employer. You're not a good fit here. If you're lazy and you want to just do your show for drunks like they were doing the past 30 years, that's not cutting it anymore. But if that's the safety you want, then go for it. It's not going to get you far, but go for it. Or change your path, because we want winners here. We want hard workers here.
Things come out of this in a good way. Like, for example, when I got laid off and I hated it, and I was just like, media is awful. I hate this. This is miserable. Like, I'm not doing what I want. I want to like reach people. And I was like, oh, fuck it. I'll become a personal trainer. And I make
yeah, exactly.
way better money that way. And I have a way better schedule. And I have people online I work with. I could just sit here and I can work, and it's great. I love that. And I'm actually helping people directly, and it's great. And I can still use my video skills that I use to send them videos, and I edit things for them. So
there you go. Very proud of this girl. Very, very proud of her attitude. And attitude's a lot of it. Attitude is really most of it. What's your attitude when it's time to perform? Is it, I don't want to do it. I want to put in 2 weeks of hard work. I want to be paid for my makeup and my hair with way too much foundation. Or are you going to put in the work?
Do you not think he's fat right now? Maybe he should become a personal trainer.
Yes, that's what I'm trying to tell you.